Hi friends, how are you all? Welcome back to Soulful Knowledge. So in my channel, I'm making videos regarding Kundalini awakening and spiritual awakening. So if you are interested in this, you can follow my channel. Plus, I'm making in two languages, in Tamil as well as in English. So if you wanted to check only in English version, you can check my playlist, Soulful Knowledge English. So if you see my previous video, I've said about brain fog. So in that I have told that why brain fog is coming in spiritual awakening, and not only that, I mentioned how I recovered from the brain fog using music and sound. So I already explained about the anxiety, depression, and panic attack. So all these things, how I did overcome using sound, music, and these therapies. So this I told in my last video, and many of them were curious, and they're actually asking what are the music, what are the chants, and what are the sounds, so that they can also recover from brain fog and other anxiety and depression. So definitely I'll give all those things, so it will definitely be useful for everyone, because it's a very important stage. So brain fog and all, it's like the extreme we'll experience in that brain. So already I've explained about that, how it will feel when we have the brain fog, and how many people are suffering due to this brain fog, and because of this, like their whole life itself is stuck in that phase. So if you see in my channel, I'm presenting the knowledge for everyone, so that it will be useful for everyone and they can follow for them. But I don't give a direct solution, because everyone's spiritual awakening, so everyone are very unique. So something which is actually working for me, so it may or may not actually work for others. So for that, what I'm doing is I'm just giving the tools for you, I'm giving the knowledge, so based on the tools, so that using those tools, so how it's working, so what kind of music are there, how it is differs to each system. So by giving these tools, what happens is each one can understand and frame their own healing system. If we give a direct solution, what happens is it actually may work for a few people and it may not work for few people. So that we should actually go deep inside the knowledge of this sound healing system using the frequency, so that if we only understand and get the knowledge from these things, only then we'll be able to reform, or we will be able to change in the suitable way, so that each one's body and mind accepts those system. That's why I'm giving a generalized format, a tool system, so that everyone can relate to that. So that's why today I'm going to explain about sound, frequency, and music, and how sound healing is done in spiritual awakening. So if you take sound frequency, it is a vast subject, it's like an ocean. This sound frequency actually represents our whole universe, because everything, every matter, every atom, every living being actually made of some vibrations and frequency. This we all know that every matter is vibrating. It can be a particle and also it can be a wave. So that's why sound and frequency is very important to know about ourselves, and not only about ourselves, to know about the whole universe. We should know the importance of sound, frequency, and vibration. So today what I'm going to describe is, the first thing I'm going to tell about the basic details of sound and frequency. So many of them who are in spiritual awakening have gone to the highest stages of sound healing using sound therapy. But in my video, I'm going to explain from the basics. So what is the sound, how the patterns are formed, so what are the frequency and vibration, from the basic I'm going to explain, so that who are new to this sound healing, they can actually relate and understand. So first thing I'm going to tell about the how sound and frequency works, how the pattern is formed. So second one, I'm going to tell that in modern current science, how they have researched in the sound and frequency, and what are the latest techniques available in this sound and frequency. So the third one, I'm going to tell how this sound and frequency actually affects our human system, and how it helps in my healing. So how I overcome from this brain fog, how I recovered from this phase, how I realized that sounds and frequency were very important in my healing system. First thing is, what is this sound, frequency and vibration? So to know about this sound, frequency and vibration, there are like many experiments. So many want to have experiment using the sound and frequency. So when there is a sound and frequency, definitely there is going to be a pattern. So this we can see in many experiments, that they'll have a plate like structure which they are connected to some ultrasonic sound, and in that plate they would have distributed some sand particles, and when they tune that plane to a particular frequency, so particular, like there are different ranges of frequency from lowest to highest hertz, from basic 20 hertz to highest 1000 5000 hertz, till that we can actually tune the frequency. So for each particular frequency there is a pattern, there's a different beautiful geometrical patterns are created. You can see that in the picture. So not only that, if you see in water, even water can create this pattern using the wave format. So the same thing when it is given to a water, when the frequencies and sound is used in a water, a different wave pattern is created in the water. So you can also see that. Now we can understand that when frequency is changed or when the sound is given, there is a different pattern is forming. Now the question is how the pattern is forming. So we all know that every molecule, every atom has an bonding system. When the frequency is changed, the bonding system also changes. That's why the pattern, the wave format, also the geometrical pattern will also change because of the bonding. So different bonding will actually start to happen. So that's why the pattern will also change. So now you can understand that how sound and frequency will have a pattern. For each sound and frequency, it has a different pattern, and when the sound and frequency changes, it also rearranges the bonding system and it forms a different geometrical pattern. Next thing is, now currently a modern science, how the sound and frequency are used. So if you compare with the ancient science, currently in modern science, I don't think so we are deeply so much of concentrated in sound and frequency. So only limited knowledge we have in this, because sound frequency is like it consists of the whole of the universe. It consists so much of secrets of the universe. Now currently what we have is, now we have a technique called ultrasonication. So what is this ultrasonication? If you see, they have found that at a particular frequency we can actually kill the bacteria. So when we apply a particular frequency, ultrasonic frequency to a bacteria, its cell membrane ruptures so that it can be killed. We may have a question that, suppose if it kills a bacteria, what if we actually, because our body also made of water and matters, and we also have bacteria and viruses in our body, so can we have this sound and ultrasonication therapy for our body so that it kills a bacteria? So we have this question, but the difficult thing is that even our cell is made of that membrane. So what if it ruptures the bacteria cell, and what if it also affects our human body, human cell? So that's why it is very dangerous, and still it is an experiment and they are researching about this. Once if they successfully find the methods of killing the bacteria inside our body without affecting our human cell, so it will be very useful. We can actually improve this in our medical system. But now what it is used for is, it is actually used in water plant treatment for sterilization of water. So to kill the bacteria and viruses in water, currently they are using this ultrasonication technique so that the water gets sterilized from these bacteria. So currently now we are using this in water plant system, and using this technique, it is actually helpful in sterilizing the water. Now we have to know how it is actually killing that bacteria. So the main factor is about to know, we should know about the resonate frequency. This is a very important term to know. It is known as the resonate frequency. So every atom, every matter, or every molecule has a separate resonant frequency. So every bacteria, virus, maybe a matter, maybe your human system, everything has a particular resonant frequency of their own. Suppose if this sound, ultrasound, matches with the resonant frequency of that matter, that's when the destruction happens. That's when some changes happens in the pattern. That's how the bacteria is getting killed or it is ruptured using this sound frequency. So not only in this water treatment, so where and all it is used is, it is actually used for destruction of the building. So if there is a huge building for a destruction, or it has to be knocked down, many places they use this sound ultrasonic frequency, so that when it matches with the resonant frequency of the building, it actually destruct that building. Not only this, the next example is that using an vocal voice, that is using a high pitch voice, can actually break a glass. So this you could have seen in many videos, that people who are using this vocal voice, they are actually breaking this glass. They use some wine glass to break using their vocal high pitch voices. So that's why sound and frequency are so much, it's so powerful that it can break anything. So when its tone is actually matching with the resonant frequency of that matter or some molecule, it actually disrupts that. So that's how it is used for many things. So now we have a question that if only this sound and frequency is used for destruction, so not only destruction, it is actually being used for construction also. Particular sound frequency, it actually disrupts a bacteria cell, but when for another sound frequency, for a different sound frequency, we see that it enhances the growth of the bacteria. So with this we can understand that not only it is used for destruction, it's also used for the growth and enhancement system. For using a particular frequency, it also used to enhance the growth and also speed up the growth of the system. This they have experimentally observed using the bacterial growth. So if you take wave, frequency and vibration is a separate subject, so it is so vast like sea, so it is so intense to understand. So our modern science is very much limited. We are not having so much of knowledge regarding this waves, vibrations and frequency. So for example, if you take gamma rays, it is very powerful. Not only it actually penetrates to our cell, it actually alters our DNA system. It knocks out our DNA structure. So that's why it is very powerful. Those gamma rays or waves are very powerful, so that it can even alter our DNA system. So now we'll see how this sound and frequency affects our human system. So we know that every matter or water molecule, when the frequency is changed, it creates a pattern, it creates a different pattern. So we know that our body also made of water. 70% of our body is made of water. 70 to 80% of our brain is actually made of water. So definitely there will be some changes in our body when we actually expose to this sound, music and vibration. So knowingly or unknowingly, definitely there are some changes in our body. So this is actually experimentally proven. If you take our ancient system, they were actually advanced in this sound and frequency. So they have actually framed the mantras and sound and frequency in a particular tone, and they were also said and what the benefits of this sound and mantras. So this is an ancient knowledge we have been following till now. So knowingly or unknowingly, we are having this tradition in our system and we are being following till now. And many information regarding this have been destroyed, have been lost through the evolution. But even then, for thousands of years, for more than thousands of years, we have been actually protecting few things, and in that few mantras and few knowledge about sound and frequency, we have that. Still we have lots to explore about that. So we have just started to touch that line, and still we have to know deep knowledge. There is so much of things that we don't even understand why that exists, because our science have not come to that advanced to know that techniques. So So now what they have found that everyone know that Gayatri mantra is used for knowledge, for clarity of a mind, for intelligence. So this actually experimentally proven. So when Gayatri mantra is heard for a long period of time or recited for a long period of time, they are experimentally checked that there is some difference in the brain pattern, some difference in the brain, and the wave pattern is actually changing. This you can see in this picture that how the transformation is happening when we are exposed to these mantras. So we know that these mantras, Gayatri mantra is recommended for students to have a good memory power, to have a good clarity of mind. So like this way, there are so much many mantras, many system, and there are also for specific things we are using each mantras and system. So for example, the next thing is the Mrityunjaya mantra. So this Mrityunjaya mantra is actually used to actually recover from the disease. So people who are in dying situation also, when this mantra is used, it is said that they can recover fast from that disease or from that dying situation. So like this, there are so much variety of mantras in our ancient system, ancient Hindu system. It is actually needs so much of exploration in that. So currently, like a modern science, just now getting awareness about the sound and frequency. So because of the spiritual awakening, so many of them are starting to bring back all those systems, to learn back all those systems, to understand how these systems are useful. So that's why in recent times we can see that many of them are coming back to understanding all these kundalini, all these mantras, chants. So it is actually scientific reason. So definitely it is an advanced science. So definitely there's some gap between our modern science and our ancient science. So our ancient system are actually much advanced than current system. Actually so advanced that they have actually explored so much in sound and frequency. Clearly they have categorized into the system. So knowingly or unknowingly we are actually being following this as a tradition or custom, as a rituals we are being following this. So currently because of the spiritual awakening, everyone are coming back to this and actually trying to research the importance of this ancient knowledge. So now we know that definitely sound frequency have some changes in our body system, because even our body, when it resonates with a frequency, it alters the pattern of our body, it alters the pattern of our mind. So it also having the wave system. So clearly we can see that when we are exposed to this sound and we are exposed to the mantras, there are some notable changes in our emotions and also in our mind. So if you see, the sound, music and system had a big role in our day-to-day life. Without music, I don't think so any people were there. So definitely everyone in the day-to-day life, knowingly or unknowingly, would have used this music system to actually enhance their mood. So what happens this, we all know that when we are sad, we actually like to hear the low tone music, or that some emotional music, so that it triggers our emotion, so it matches our emotion and we feel good sometimes. So in the same time, when we are happy, that is when we are in the fun mood, we actually listen to that happy tone music, like pop music, like enthusiastic music. So it gives us a josh for us to actually feel that happy mode. So in the same way, there are also music for love, there is soulful music, so it actually enhances our love mood. So in that way, there is also music for a heartbreak. For that heartbreak, actually, when we emotionally hear some music, some like soulful music in a film songs, album songs, so much of musics are there. When we hear to that music, automatically we'll be connected to those memories. And if you see that when we are in heartbreak or in love, automatically we get the tears from our eyes listening to those music. So in that way, music plays a very major role in our life. So not only after spiritual awakening, even in a regular people, for regular life, it actually giving so much of impact in our life. So before spiritual awakening, what happens, all this will happen in a subconscious way. So if you would have carefully noted that when you hear some music, you will automatically have some goosebumps or some crumbling tinglings in your body and also in your mind. So all these will have, we are all experiencing this from our life. So these all minute changes is actually having a great impact to our emotions. Definitely there are some neural connectivity or neural change pattern changes happening when we have those goosebumps or slight some cramping happening in our brain, some like sparkling it will happen in our brain. So all these things are actually some neuron changes is happening, some patterns are being changing. So this actually we can before spiritual awakening also we have noted this, but we, what is the thing is, we would not actually concentrated too much in that, so that it would have actually become a normal thing for us. So what is the difference between spiritual awakening and before spiritual awakening is, so after spiritual awakening what happens, even a minute changes in your body and your brain, there will be so much of impact. So any small change you will started to know consciously. So before spiritual awakening, everything was happening in a subconscious level, so we would not have a noted so carefully or concentrated in those things. But after spiritual awakening, whatever happened in a subconscious level, we will start to understand consciously we'll start to understand why it is happening, we'll start to concentrate in all those things. So spiritual awakening self, it's something we get that realization, so why everything is happening. So that realization is only happened to me. So after spiritual awakening, what happens, few mantras, few songs, few music, not only in spiritual side, even in film songs or some music, I started to understand how those music had a great impact in my body and mind. I started to concentrate how it is impacting, and I can actually understand the pattern is changing in my mind as well as in my body. So that's why mantras or slogas, ancient music system, is also framed in such a way so that it triggers some patterns in our human system. But the thing is, for everyone it doesn't work in the same way. Why is that happens is, it has an pattern, it has a proper procedure to follow, it has a proper step by step procedure to follow. Only then we can understand the working of this sound, and we can use this sound for our healing of this brain fog, anxiety and depression. So how this works is that, so suppose if you're in fear, anxiety or in depression, your Mooladhara is actually weak. So for this, if you hear Gayatri mantra, if you hear any other music, what happens is, it will never going to work, because Gayatri mantra is actually for the clarity of your mind. It works in Vishuddhi to gain the knowledge. But when you're in fear, you should listen to the music which actually enhances, which actually helps you to get away this fear and anxiety. For this we have like Narasimham Kavacham and all we have in our spiritual music and spiritual videos. All these are used for overcoming the fears and anxiety. So in Mooladhara, when we are in Mooladhara, in fear and anxiety, Mooladhara is not actually properly functioning. To enhance that, what happens, there is a particular music for that particular chants and particular frequency. If we trigger using that frequency, it actually get enhanced. Only if it goes to the peak and enhance, what happens is we can move to the next stage. So the next stage is actually Swadhisthana Chakra. So in Swadhisthana, we'll feel that pleasure, happiness, adrenaline rush, fun, excitement, enthusiasm, all this happens in Swadhisthana. So for this, music system is different. We hear some happy and cheerful music so that it enhances that. So when we hear all this music, it enhances that and we get satisfied with that Swadhisthana Chakra. and only after that we will move to next chakra. So next is Anahata, is more of heartbreak, love, soulful music. So when you are like interested to listen only to the love, soulful and heartbreak music, we can understand that you are in Anahata chakra. And when your body and emotions resonant frequency is actually matches with the music we hear, mantras we do, only then a magic will be created, some pattern will be changed, and only then some changes will happen like this. Then after, when you get satisfied with this love music, when your emotion goes peak and then satisfied, only then you will move to the next stage. So next is actually Vishuddhi. We have so much of music to, we can hear normal film music or album music. It actually enhances our spirit. It gives us that spirit to actually work hard, to gain knowledge, to improve in our life, to all these, some music will be there. And not only that, trigger our ego also, there is so much of music. All this music works in our Vishuddhi chakra. So Gayatri mantra, all this works to gain the knowledge, to get the clarity. So everything works in Vishuddhi, third and Sahasrara. So like this, so why many people it's working on, for many of them it's not working, is they are not correctly using that music system. If you are in vibrating in Muladhara chakra, your resonant frequency should match with the slogas or music or mantras you are actually chanting. Only then it can overcome that Muladhara chakra and go to next chakra. It is actually step by step process and linear process. It is like a tuning system only. How do you tune a radio? You cannot jump from one radio system to another radio system. Some tuning should happen from lower to higher. So that's how, if you wanted to go from lower chakra to higher chakra, the music has to be used for a particular chakra, from one particular chakra to another chakra. From Muladhara, you have to move to Swadhisthana, then Manipura, then Anahata, then Vishuddhi, and third eye. Like this, linearly only you can move. You cannot actually bypass or shift. Only then, each chakra, if it is satisfied only, it can move to another chakra. So in the same way, from the top you can actually bring down your frequency, lower your frequency, from third eye to Vishuddhi, Vishuddhi to Anahata, Anahata to Manipura, Manipura to Swadhisthana, Swadhisthana to Muladhara. So like this, there is a pattern, step by step system to actually increase our frequency and actually to decrease our frequency, and we should know exactly for what chakra to use the music and chants. So our ancient knowledge is so much, it is so deep, like cosmos. They have actually explored so much of things. They have clearly illustrated, like for each chakra there is a pattern, there is a sound, there is a music, so that it triggers that chakra. So all these 7 chakras, we have a pattern, we have a sound, and we have a chant. So all these things I will explain in next videos. So already I've spoken about the Kundalini, these chakras, and in like specifically each chakra I've mentioned, I've told many details about Kundalini. You can check that in my previous videos. There are even so much of details to tell about this Kundalini, because this Kundalini is only the basic root itself is the Kundalini only. We are actually in the vibration, we are in the frequency. So it is so much of important to each and everyone to understand our system, our human science. So that's how each chakra has a different frequency, and this frequency is already explained in our Kundalini system. So this I will explain in my next video. So this spiritual awakening actually gave me the realization to actually concentrate what is happening inside me, the inner engineering of myself, to minute changes happening inside me, which was also happening before spiritual awakening, but I didn't concentrate much. So the minute that cramps happening, the patterns changing, all the goosebumps happening, everything is happening for a reason. So before spiritual awakening, we would have not concentrated much because it would have happened in a subconscious level. But after spiritual awakening, what happens is all these which are happening in subconscious level, now it is happening in our conscious level. So consciously we'll understand, we'll start to reason out why this is happening, we'll start to understand the system. So that's how I got the knowledge about the kundalini, by experimenting within my body, by understanding by within the body the changes happening within the body. So that's how I actually healed using the music system. I actually tried many music mantras and many system, and actually understood that there is a pattern towards that. So when I am in Muladhara, I'm not able to listen to some music which actually enhances in Vishuddhi. So it actually doesn't work. It actually doesn't resonate. So when you are in particular frequency, particular chakra which matches to that resonant frequency will only have the impact. So like this, you can actually research. I'll presented the tool, how it is working, how each chakra has a different frequency, and how the mantras and slogas are there for frequency, and you can also explore it. Not only blindly following the instruction, you can actually explore it, so that you, the minor changes inside a body, you can actually concentrate it. Don't be frustrated, and you just try to concentrate, try many things and see how it is working, how it is changing. Like this, you will understand your human system, you will understand the inner engineering of your system, and you will actually frame a pattern for your life. So, okay, guys, I think today's video would have been useful for you all. You would have understood how sound healing is done, and how I have realized this sound healing. So, I hope so. All these videos are very important for you all. So, okay, guys, thanks for watching. So, this is Shobna. Bye from Soulful Knowledge.